Just take a look at this for a second. The depth, the colors, the layers, it really feels like a little world, doesn't it? But what if I told you this entire thing was made from nothing more than a few simple sheets of paper? Yeah, really. Let's dig into how that's even possible.
So every single one of these amazing paper creations has the same starting point, a photograph. You just find an image that sparks something, Something with a really strong, clear shape that you can imagine transforming. And from that one photo, after a pretty cool digital and physical journey, it becomes this, a real, tangible piece of art that you can actually hold and feel.
So that's the million-dollar question, right? What happens in that space between the digital photo and the final paper scene? Well, let's walk through it together. Okay, so the very first thing we have to do is translate. We need to take all the rich, complicated stuff in a photograph and basically convert it into a language that a cutting machine can actually read. And that language is all about simple, clean lines. To get what I mean, you gotta understand two kinds of digital images. First, you have raster images, like any photo you take. They're made of a grid of tiny little squares called pixels. If you zoom in too far, they get all blocky and blurry. But then you've got vector graphics. These aren't made of pixels at all. They're defined by pure mathematical paths. You could blow them up to the size of a billboard, and they'd stay perfectly crisp. And that's exactly what a cutter's blade needs to follow. And this slide, it shows that translation perfectly. We're inside a free program here called Inkscape. On the left is the original photo, and on the right is what happens after an automated tool traces it. It boils down all that photographic noise into one single precise vector path. That red line you see, that's the exact roadmap the machine's blade is going to follow. Now, getting that initial trace is just step one. The next phase is all about refining it. It's part technical, part artistic. This is where you kind of become a digital sculptor, really. Because that first automated trace, well, it often has a big problem. The software is almost too good. It tries to capture every tiny little bump and feather, which creates hundreds of little points or nodes. It's just way too much information for a clean cut. Right, because if you send a path that's that complicated to the cutter, the machine is going to try to hit every single one of those points. It's going to stutter and jerk, and all that hesitation ends up tearing the paper. You get a really jagged, messy-looking edge. It just doesn't work. The solution? You have to simplify. By getting rid of all those extra nodes, you're left with this beautiful, clean, elegant line. And this isn't just a technical fix, it's a design decision. You're choosing to capture the essential spirit of the subject, not every single little flaw. The result is just so much more graceful. So, with our vector design looking sharp and clean, we are ready for the magic. It's time to take what's on our screen and turn it into a physical object. Let's see how it goes from screen to cut. But hold on, before a single blade touches paper, the entire scene is built digitally first. This is such a critical planning step. You get to play with colors, arrange all the different layers, and get the composition looking just right. This is the complete digital blueprint for the final piece. Once that design is locked in, you save it as a DXF file. Just think of this file type as a universal translator. It's the standard format that acts as a bridge, letting your design software speak the same language as the cutting machine. Now, here is something really cool that came directly from student trial and error. When they first tried to cut the whole scene, the machine wanted to cut every single layer on one piece of paper. Total chaos. But through experimenting, they figured out the trick. In the software, you have to select only the one piece you want to cut and deselect everything else. That way, each color gets cut on its own sheet. It was a classic aha moment that came from just messing around and learning by doing. All right, the digital work is done. All our pieces are cut. Now for the really fun, hands-on part, putting it all together. And, of course, learning a few more little lessons along the way. So after the machine does its thing, you're left with this, your perfectly cut shape sitting on a sticky carrier sheet. That sheet's whole job is just to hold the paper perfectly still while it's being cut. Now, we gotta set it free. And here's a super crucial technique they figured out. Once you eject the sheet, you want to carefully peel the shape itself, the positive space, the piece you want, away from the sticky backing. This helps stop any delicate parts from tearing or curling. It just leaves you with a much cleaner, crisper silhouette to work with. And here is another gem of wisdom learned right in the middle of making. This student realized that the dark tree trunk was peeking out from behind the green leaves. So their note for next time was to just trim the background edges a little bit so they're completely hidden. It's these little discoveries that really make your work so much better. And finally, you get to put it all together. As you glue each layer down, from the sky in the very back to the grass in the very front, something incredible happens. These flat, separate pieces start to work together, and the tiny shadows they cast on one another create this stunning, real sense of depth. Once you get the hang of this whole workflow, the creative doors just fly open. You can create a really playful scene, like this hippo popping out of the water against this gorgeous layered sunset. Or you could go for a classic savanna vibe, using all those layers to build up texture in the ground and the trees, really bringing this pair of giraffes to life. Or maybe capture a quiet, tender moment like this. See how each element is placed so carefully to create a really balanced and beautiful composition? So it's pretty wild to think it all starts from just one simple act, looking at a photo and translating it into a single, clean line. From there, through a bit of digital art and hands-on assembly, you can build an entire world. So really, the only question is, what story will your silhouette tell?